First at 11, fire tears through a Metro Atlanta apartment complex. What residents think sparked the flames.
And most types of gender-affirming health care for minors now banned in Georgia. We explain the legal challenge and how it could affect existing care.
And one Metro Atlanta community says enough is enough. We speak one-on-one with some of Fulton County's top leaders on the challenges of tackling violence.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news. 11 Alive is learning at least one person is shot at a Clayton County convenience store.
This all started unfolding minutes ago along Riverdale Road, and that's where we find our Cody Alcorn live for us this evening with the very latest. Cody?
Jennifer, Ron, I was actually just down the street less than a half mile away about to tell you guys about an apartment fire, and we heard all kinds of sirens barreling by us. We called Clayton County Police, and they led us to this QT, and this is what we found. Crime scene tape is surrounding this Volvo SUV right outside the front door of this QT. We're right off 285 next to the airport. We can confirm a person has been shot, rushed to the hospital in critical condition. No details on a possible suspect, but if you've been to a QT, you know they have security cameras everywhere on this property, so it's likely whatever happened right here in front of the store was captured on surveillance. We do know that Clayton County Police are inside right now going through that video. This QT is closed on a very busy Riverdale Road right at I-285. But again, we just got on the scene. We do know Clayton County Police working this. Their homicide team is out here. But again, at last check, this victim was still alive in critical condition. As we learn more, of course, we'll pass it along to you.
All right, Cody, thank you so much. Well, we've got some more breaking news for you this evening. We have learned in just the last hour that the driver of an emergency vehicle involved in a deadly wreck is now under arrest. We told you about this earlier this week. That crash taking place Monday along Campbellton Road, and when the ambulance crashed with an SUV. One of the victims, Sakita Mills, was an EMS employee based out of Lawrenceville, and the other was the driver of an SUV, 29-year-old Jada Watley. An attorney for the driver of that emergency vehicle says his client has turned himself in.
Happening today, the legal fight is on after Governor Brian Kemp signed off on a bill to ban most gender-affirming care for transgender kids. While supporters say it's going to protect kids, medical professionals are calling it unnecessary, and they're already coming up with workarounds. 11 Alive's John Sherrick explains.
Here's what's next. There will be a lawsuit, maybe more than one lawsuit against the state, to try to overturn the new law and legalize in Georgia once again all the medical treatments and surgeries for transgender youth that the new law bans as of July 1st. Andrea Young with ACLU Georgia.
Politicians should not be making healthcare decisions that parents, in conjunction with their physicians, are better equipped to make.
Those who support the bans will continue to argue that the bans in the new law, in their words, protect possibly confused young people from themselves. Republican Senator Ben Watson from Savannah, a physician.
But what we're doing here is we're preventing minors under 18 years old from having irreversible changes in their lives.
Physicians in Georgia who actually treat transgender youth, who prescribe hormone therapy as long as the children's parents give their consent, are evaluating what they will do, because if the bans take effect on July 1st,
we would face criminal charges for practicing medicine appropriately.
Dr. Izzy Lowell's QMed is a telemedicine practice. She tells me that about 20% of her patients are transgender youth. So after July 1st, she may offer this option to them and their parents.
If they drive out of Georgia to a state where it's legal, that we're licensed in, and we're licensed in 25 states, then we can see them for a telemedicine visit and prescribe them a legal prescription for hormone therapy.
As of now, what's next for Georgia could be the same types of lawsuits and possibly injunctions that are challenging similar bans in other states before the new law here is settled. In Atlanta, John Sherrick, 11 Alive News.
And you can read more about this new law right now online at 11alive.com.
We have got some more beautiful weather ahead, but not for long. Meteorologist Andrew Wilson in for Chris Holcomb tonight. Andrew, when are those chances of rain going to be upon us?
Yeah, Jennifer, it's going to be really Friday night into Saturday. Things are going to start to change big time. We're going to end up with a lot of rainfall for this weekend, so you got to get out and enjoy the nice weather while it's still here. It's still pretty nice out there right now. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. We look out towards Truist Park. They had the lights on a little bit earlier. It's starting to feel a lot like baseball season. We're getting very close to that. Looking out towards downtown, a lot of clear sky overhead. Beautiful shot there of the skyline. It was a stunning day with a lot of blue sky with temperatures that rose into the 80s. 68 right now, though, for Atlanta. Those temperatures are starting to fall. It's 59 in Peachtree City, 67 in Marietta. We have 69 in Rome and 69 as well in Canton. Meanwhile, Blairsville and Clayton both sitting in the upper 50s. Now, heading throughout tonight, we're just going to have a clear sky overhead. Maybe a little fog, though, at the surface when you're waking up tomorrow morning. So make sure you're giving yourself some extra time before you head out the door in the morning. We head into the afternoon, though, for tomorrow. Those temperatures rise into the lower 80s and 9 on the wazometer. And then as we head into Saturday, those storms arrive. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, Drew, see in a couple of minutes. Right now, about a dozen people are looking for a new place to live after a large fire ripped through an apartment complex in College Park.
11 Alive's Cody Alcorn spoke with residents at that complex before he headed out to breaking news.
I'm sitting there, I'm talking on the phone. As soon as I get off, I just hear a boom. So I'm like, what is that?
Deidre Hampton's best friend and neighbor, Robin Christmas, was also realizing something wasn't right.
And I could see slivers of smoke coming out the wall. And I said, oh my God, it's something burning in the wall.
Seconds later,
I see the contractors that is fixing the apartment next to me take off running.
Next door,
I hear crackling in the wall. So I run downstairs.
By the time both women got outside,
it's ghost. It is engulfed. We just hear stuff popping and everything like that. This whole thing was engulfed in flames. It's instantly on fire.
Clayton County Fire says the 911 call started coming in just after 4 p.m. Thursday. Witnesses captured the flames shooting from the building. 11 Alive Sky Tracker flew over the St. James Apartments along Riverdale Road before we were able to get on scene just before 6 o'clock. Fire ripped through the two-story building, causing it to collapse, destroying everything inside.
I lost pictures, my mama's ashes. Everything I owned was in that apartment, other than my purse and my phone that I have, and nothing. I have nothing. My husband has cancer, and we lost everything. I don't know where I'm going. I lost everything. This is all I got. This is all I got.
We are learning more tonight about a woman whose body was discovered in a patch of woods earlier this week in Athens-Clarke County. Just hours ago, we learned that police identified the body of that of 38-year-old Adriana Castaneda. She was reported missing on March 7th, and her remains were found Tuesday near Maple Forge Drive and Lavender Road. Tonight, we spoke with Margarita Hernandez, Adriana's friend and co-worker. She says that Adriana was sweet and generous and was fighting to have a better life.
We hope that her soul is with God in a better place, somewhere where she's not suffering, where she does not feel pain. We really hope that she's in a better place.
Police are waiting for the autopsy results to determine her cause of death. There is a lawsuit now filed against Cobb County commissioners, and it's coming from former Governor Roy Barnes. In a 42-page filing with Cobb County Superior Court, the former Democratic governor calls the county's zoning codes unconstitutional. The suit is tied to a request asking commissioners to rezone more than 190 acres so single-family homes could be built. That was denied by commissioners as they say the land falls too close to a floodplain, a point Barnes denies in the lawsuit. Tonight, MARTA is dialing back its initial scathing response to an audit request from the Atlanta City Council. In a meeting, leaders say they are on board with the audit and they just need time to plan how it will be conducted. Earlier this week, the Atlanta City Council approved a resolution calling for the financial review. Specifically, they want a detailed look at multi-billion-dollar plans to expand bus and rail services funded by a half-penny tax Atlantans have been paying for years. Earlier today, members of MARTA's board met to sort through plans for the audit.
I think that it should be an audit firm that perhaps we haven't used before, that the city hadn't used before, that we agree upon mutually and pay the auditing fees directly.
The council wants MARTA to formally respond to the audit request by next Wednesday.
Well, just hours ago, dozens of people who live in South Fulton spoke out at a town hall meeting to address crime and public safety as well. Now, several law enforcement leaders were there to bring some of those ideas and solutions to the table. 11
Alive's Don White is live in the city of South Fulton. Don, what did police say that they're focusing on here?
Ron and Jennifer, that meeting wrapped up just about 3 hours ago here at Friendship Community Church. Leaders, they narrowed their focus down to 3 things. That includes youth violence, the county jail, and who is patrolling the streets.
One of the biggest deterrents to crime is visibility.
But our young men and our youth, why don't we have a program to offer them for a second chance?
Those are just some of the concerns people brought up during this public safety town hall meeting.
So one of the things that we're seeing is an uptick in our juvenile-related crimes.
City of South Fulton Police Chief Keith Meadows says he often sees the same young people getting into trouble.
Myself, along with other members of the police department, have met with the governor's office to talk about some of those challenges with respects to the juvenile point system.
That system suggests a young person with 12 or more points should be arrested. Chief Meadows says the issue is each county calculates points.
If a juvenile knows that he can go in Fulton County and perpetrate crimes, if he doesn't get caught, then he goes to Cobb County, he can go to Clayton County, and in each one of those jurisdictions, the 12 points doesn't accumulate.
It's inhumane, has been so for years.
Leaders also keeping a close eye on where criminals will wind up once they're arrested. Fulton County Sheriff Patrick Labatt believes the jail, built in 1989, is outdated and too small to comfortably house inmates.
We have to build a new facility, right? That jail represents an old way of thinking, just warehousing people. We're in the process of creating an environment where we talk about mental health, we talk about reentry.
Lastly, leaders want to zero in on who they're hiring to keep everyone in line. South Fulton Councilwoman Helen Zenobia Willis plans to introduce a resolution at next Tuesday's City Council meeting banning South Fulton Police from hiring an applicant with excessive use of force violations.
We want to ensure that we make sure in our hiring practices that we set a standard for quality and not quantity.
Councilwoman Willis says she is also working with Chief Meadows in hopes of bringing back both the Citizens Police Academy and Police Athletic Association.
All right, Dawn, thank you so much. Law enforcement agencies across Georgia are incorrectly clearing some sex crimes cases without ever making an arrest. We're taking a look at the practice of exceptional clearance when we return.
Marking a case solved without making an arrest now is something police can only do in extreme cases.
But when it comes to rape and sexual assault crimes, 11 Alive investigator Kristen Crowley uncovered many police agencies across the state are doing this at high rates, with suspects walking free.
Every folder full of police reports. Every report, a person raped or sexually assaulted. Every case cleared without any arrests. It's likely you've never heard of exceptional clearance.
No, what is that?
Neither had Robin Smith Bright, even though it is why her daughter's rape investigation is closed.
One thing that daughter told me to suck his
Okay.
and I got scared, so I did it.
Did you think that there was a possibility that you actually did it?
I have no idea. You know, it could be a possibility, it could, but I'm not so sure.
It's supposed to mean police couldn't arrest the suspect for reasons beyond their control, even though they have the evidence they need. Every agency must check these boxes first, and then at least one of these boxes in order to use it. Miss one checkmark, it doesn't qualify. But that's not how Evans County Sheriff's Office used it.
But there are no exceptional reasons why they can't arrest this person.
Right.
Hasn't died.
Nope.
He hasn't fled the country.
Nope.
He's not in custody for another crime.
Nope.
They could go arrest him tomorrow.
Yes.
But the sheriff's office didn't arrest the suspect because they said they didn't have enough evidence.
Once you read it, I think you'll see.
The sheriff didn't see a problem with that.
My exceptionally cleared, the previous sheriff's exceptionally cleared might be two different things.
I'm just a little confused because it really isn't by definition. It's one thing.
It's a play on words, I guess.
No, it's not. Exceptional clearance is the same no matter your state, city, or county. when police report their numbers to the public, exceptionally clearing the case is the same as solving a case with an arrest. That's why exceptional clearance should be relatively rare. But we found that's not the case in rape investigations.
The public needs to know about what's going on.
Dave Thomas with the International Association of Chiefs of Police says anything over 9% is alarming.
When we start getting higher percentiles, I want to go in and do some data mining and look at the cases, look and see whether they met the criteria.
So that's exactly what we did. We filed open records requests with departments in 48 counties across Georgia. Remember these check marks? We found agencies all over the state missing a lot of them. Reports show officers saying there was insufficient evidence, that a story was fabricated. The case was transferred. All of it a misuse. Multiple agencies acknowledged the mistake once we showed them. But for Robin Bright, it's not enough.
I want him to be arrested. I want him to be put away for that and labeled as what he is.
This is the latest in our year-long investigation into this exceptional problem. You can learn more about this case and our investigation inside this story on 11alive.com.
Here are some other headlines we're following for you tonight. There's a search for 2 suspects in southwest Atlanta in a murder, and police are asking for your help tonight, folks. So check out this security camera video. It's put out by Atlanta Crime Stoppers. It shows 2 people walking around an apartment complex. This is right along Springdale Road, and then running away. The murder taking place back on March 8th. If you know who these suspects are, give Atlanta Crime Stoppers a call. Listen up, if you live in Snellville, the city will soon be charging you to continue your recycling services. It's going to be a new annual fee of $144. For the price, the city will also help you out with a new recycling cart. Officials say the change is because of the rising cost of services. The free services, they're going to end on May 1st. So if you don't want to pay, you can still recycle. You're just going to have to drive it down to the recycling center yourself.
We've got some rain sneaking into the forecast. Meteorologist Andrew Wilson is in for our chief meteorologist, Chris Holcomb, tonight. He's joining us now with a look at when it could hit your neighborhood.
Yeah, Jennifer, that's going to be as we make our way into Saturday. It is that time of year whenever we have those temperatures fluctuate a lot. And typically whenever we have that big warm up, well, rain isn't far behind. Remember earlier this week on Monday morning, we started off with 28 degrees. That's the coldest temperature that we have had so far this year. And then today, the tide for the second warmest that we've had. We hit 80 degrees today. And as we head throughout tomorrow, we're going to see that number 1 spot change because we're going with 82 for the high as we head throughout the day on Friday. And Friday doesn't bring rainfall. It brings another day similar to today. You see that clear sky overhead for tonight. Nice to see that. But as we head throughout the day tomorrow, there's a big active system that's further off to our west that's going to be headed out into our direction. First of all, a closer look here into far north Georgia. You see that clear sky overhead. Not seeing anything anywhere near us, so you got to look way west. I'm talking into far north portions of Texas, looking up towards Wichita Falls, stretching into portions of Oklahoma across the Red River and into portions of northwest Arkansas. That's where they have a severe thunderstorm watch and a severe thunderstorm warning down there towards areas closer on towards Wichita Falls. That system is going to trek to the east as we head into the overnight time frame and into Friday. It's going to bring a big threat for severe weather across parts of the southeast, mainly for spots well to our west. Looking into southeast portions of Arkansas, western portions of Mississippi, and northeast Louisiana, a level 4 out of 5. That's a moderate risk for severe weather. Thankfully, though, for us, these storms will be weakening as they head off to the east, and we're left with just a marginal risk for a few strong storms as we head into not really Friday, but Saturday morning. That's going to be when the storms start to move into portions of far northwest Georgia, and they'll continue their way off to the east as we head throughout the day on Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon, impacting the Atlanta metro all the way down into portions of middle Georgia and stretching into southern Georgia as well. So here's how it shapes up on the timeline. First of all, we start off tomorrow with 50s and 60s, a little bit of patchy fog. We head into the afternoon, a lot of sunshine, and temperatures, they rise into the 80s. Still no rain, even as of 3 a.m. That's going to be when a lot of the storms off to our north and west start to move in, impacting Rome, Dalton, Blairsville, all the way down into Carrollton. Those storms pass through pretty quick. By 1 p.m., they're starting to move out. A few lingering showers and storms, though, even at 4 and 5. And then all those storms are out of here by the time we head into sunset there on Saturday. Now, the main threat with these storms is going to be damaging wind. We'll keep a close eye on that. Still going to have a few lingering showers there even into Sunday and then into Monday and Tuesday, but thankfully nothing severe with that. Again, the only severe threat going to be there for Saturday. And look at the temperatures going down as we head into the middle of the next week with 60s for highs.
Thiago Almada is one of the best players in Major League Soccer right now, but he's not going to be with Atlanta United this weekend. I'm going to tell you why after the break. So while Thiago Almada is scoring goals for Argentina, Atlanta United's going to try to maintain that hot start that they're on. The Five Stripes are undefeated, but here comes a huge challenge. They are without 7 players who were with their national teams during this week's March FIFA international window. Defender Miles Robinson and midfielder Thiago Almada, they will leave the 2 biggest holes for Atlanta United heading into Saturday's game versus Columbus.
Yes, we're going to miss some guys, but whoever comes on the field has to try at the best of his ability to replace the roles that we have for every position, and from there we will go.
All right, we're now just 7 days away from opening day for Major League Baseball, but we have some injury news for the Braves. Closer Raisel Iglesias, he will start the season on the injured list as he deals with some shoulder inflammation. Hopefully that can heal up quick. We've also learned that Braves have sent down Michael Soroka to AAA Gwinnett. He's going to continue to work back from injury as well. But let's look at today's game against the Mets down there in Florida. Matt Olson, who's been raking a 2-run blast here for his 7th home run of the spring. That'll tie the game up at 2. Next week, no more ties, but this one was a tie. 2-2 was the final score. It was a speedy 2 hours and 7 minutes. That'll be that new pitch clock for you in Major League Baseball, speeding up those games out at Truist. Opening day closer than ever. Baseball is almost here.
That's right. So exciting. Thanks a lot, Maria. We're going to come back and check that final Friday forecast. Stay with us.
Well, if you like the weather today, we got a repeat performance for tomorrow. Temperatures hitting 82 degrees. That would be the hottest temperature that we have had so far this year. You know, we're the coldest we've been so far this year on Monday. So a big switch, and whenever that happens this time of the year here in the spring, well, it means storms aren't far behind. On Saturday morning, we're going to have the chance for a few strong storms. Going to keep a close eye on that. Just a marginal risk for severe weather. Damaging wind will be the main threat. We'll keep a close eye on it. 80 still for the high there, and then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday going to still have some lingering shower activity, and then we move into Wednesday. Look at that, 66 for the high. Going to have some drier conditions, and then slight chances for rain right back into Thursday. We have a lot of rain chances in there. The best chance, though, is Saturday morning.
Okay, just a little iffy on the weekends right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, you like the dry weather on the weekend, but we're going to miss it this week.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us for 11 Alive News at 11. Be sure to join us at 4:30 for 11 Alive Morning News. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon's up next.
Good night, everyone.